why are you using religion to, or rather, why are you using religion as an institution of the metaphysical to justify or not justify the physical?
He's going back to numenology for this phenomenology.
Yeah, I'm not.
He didn't understand.
The Bible wasn't meant to prove or disprove science. The Bible is meant to be God's word to us.
Wait, where did you get the idea that I am using Bible to disprove science?
No, that's what you're saying.
No. Wait. Yeah.
And trust Jesus.
It says don't trust fake science. That means there is real science.
Okay.
Whenever there is something true, there is always a lie. There is something real, there is fake. We know that.
All right.
So I am only saying don't trust fake science.
And what is fake science?
Fake science is anything that you call science that is either not observable or cannot be demonstrated with repeated experiments.
But then that's not just fake science. That's just not anything that's not science because. So
Yeah.
what's
But we call many things like that as science. For example, macroevolution. Many people, if I ask most of the students say, oh, it is a proven scientific fact, macroevolution. They would say that millions of years, fish became man. They would say that. But where is the evidence? Where is the experimental evidence or observable evidence? None. It is a faith system, belief system.
It's not a faith system.
Ben, I don't know whether you have enough background to tell me that. Do
No,
you know
I do because
Yeah,
I've gone through like years of education on this.
Oh, then tell me. I'm just
You're talking
looking for
about macroevolution.
No, yeah.
Macroevolution, all it is weeding out bad evolutions, right? All this is like taking out traits in the in your species that doesn't let you survive, okay? Or is actually working against your survival. Because the whole thing about the best thing surviving is the luckiest world, like the worst thing not surviving. And so over time, out of people with the worst traits, or beings with the worst traits died out, and the better traits, lived on. And so over time, it just evolved into what we have today, and we're still evolving to more things right now. We're evolving into what's suitable for your environment.
In this couple of sentences you said, you started with something that we can observe, then you went to your belief system. You don't realize when you said evolve.
No.
That is your faith system. Where is the evidence for one organism evolving into another organism?
I mean, we have
Give me
fossil
an
vectors,
evidence.
we can model
At
it.
least in microevolution, that was through Darwin's Origin of Species when he made notations of different finches going around. Macroevolution does have some amount of debate about the veracity of different fossils that are found, but they do have the evidence that they do have are just the advancements of fossil records of Australopithecines. Am I right? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
They've found fossils. They don't know entirely whether those fossils are completely accurate to what they want, but they have started finding at least foundational evidence.
Yeah, they found more than foundational
Okay,
evidence.
let me say.
Accept it.
Ben, let me respond to finches, okay? The finches, Darwin's finches, of course, we can see that is called microevolution. I have no problem. Actually, people have recently did that experiment and found that within lifetime of one bird, it can really change many parts of, like elongating their leg by changing their diet. We can observe. Wait. We can observe that. I have no problem. But Darwin started with finches and ended with finches. That is the key. Where is the macroevolution there? So a
What do you
finch
define
had.
as macroevolution?
Pardon?
What do you define as macroevolution?
One organism becoming another organism, entirely different organism.
See, when you say one organism becoming a different organism, it's just how we define the difference between organisms. Like,
I will give you a simple example. Bacteria, right? Bacteria doesn't have a defined nuclear wall. It has DNA, things like that, but it doesn't have a defined nuclear wall. Versus amoeba has a nuclear wall.
Okay.
Given everything is same, You take bacteria and let it reproduce itself for many years because it gets reproduced pretty fast. Within minutes, you get it get double. Let us find just one bacteria which by itself developed a nuclear membrane. Something different.
The way mutations in your DNA works is over time through many mutations, specific alleles can change. Right? No,
Can change, but where is the evidence? That's the question. How are you? Do you have a question to me?
No, I'm just here to listen.
Oh, very
I'll ask
good.
a question if I have one, though.
Okay, thank you. So this is what I'm saying. Actually, I don't know, Ben.
I'll look up. We have specifically observe. I know we have models.
Yeah, actually, they have done. Scientists have designed an experiment to prove macroevolution. This is called long-term evolutionary experiment. This was done by a professor from Michigan State University. His name is Richard Lenski. He began an experiment. He did some experiment with the E. coli bacteria. And he was growing E. coli bacteria to see whether after thousands of generations, whether it will change into something other than bacteria. Let me finish that. So far, after more than 30 years, he began with bacteria, he ended with bacteria. This was a good experiment for the scientific community to prove that macroevolution is true. But so far none. Go ahead.
The bounds of that experiment, were they just naturally reproduced over time in that one single environment, or were there multiple environments with different stimuli? Because in the real world, at least as far as the theory of macroevolution would go, you have different species exposed in different environments in an ever-changing environment. So if it's one sterile environment where there's no outward stimuli but would involve, well, that would sort of beg a mutation required of them, or have a reason for a mutation to give an advantage one way or another, then you're just going to end up with the same species because you don't have that outward environment.
I agree. Richard Lenski definitely knew this, and that is why he was forcing changes on these 12 different population. He had 12 experiments going on same time, changing the environment, changing many things to force evolution. He did everything to force evolution on these bacteria population. Otherwise, why would you think he is not that knowledgeable? Saying just
say that.
So they did. So far,
The saying bacteria do have cell wall.
no, you do have cell wall. I am talking about nuclear wall. Nuclear cell. Yeah, nuclear wall. So I don't see any reason to reject Jesus. I am asking people why they reject Jesus.
The proof of evolution has nothing to do with whether Jesus exists or not.
But this is what I am saying.
Here we
Okay.
go. Nature.
Yeah, there is. Indirectly, there is.
Dynamic assembly of a cell wall. Is key to the maintenance of cell shape during bacterial growth. Here we present a method for the analysis of Escherichia coli, whatever.
Yeah, E.
Cell wall
coli.
growing at high spatial and temporal resolution was achieved by tracing the movement of fluorescently labeled cell wall anchored flagellar motors. Using this method, we clearly identify the active and inert zones of cell wall growth during bacterial elongation within the active zone. Insertion of newly synthesized peptidoglycan occurs homogeneously in the axial direction without twisting off the cell body based on the measured parameters. We formulate a Bernoulli shift map model predict the partitioning of cell wall anchored proteins following cell division. Cell walls were grown.
No, these are talking about cell wall. So if you look at, So this is what I ask, when I go to different universities, I tell the students, why don't you, sometimes students, they just say, this is true. Then they would say, but I don't have the background to explain everything to you. Then I will tell them, why don't you bring your professor who has the background to explain to me? Nobody has. come to me yet. You can, if you do not have the background,
I'm sure if you want to go find a biology professor,
yeah,
you go find a biology
please, you
professor.
can bring that biology professor here and tell that biology professor, this guy is crazy, standing here saying there is no experimental evidence for
If we're talking
macroevolution.
government and policies, I should go to Washington right now and bring back a politician. I should go, if world economics, I should go to the World Bank. Students don't have the abilities to get professors at their beck and call. Burden of proof is on the person who would be defending it.
Well, here we're
Just
defending evolution.
right. At this point, just to say, oh, if you don't have the background to discuss it, that doesn't make their questions or their inquiries about it any less valid.
Well, the point is that he's doing discussion inquiry. Like he's saying that we don't have the correct,
Background to make questions.
No.
No,
We have the correct background to make questions. We're not able to defend it ourselves. But our point is
No,
that
I'm
it's,
saying there is no
general
experimental
scientific
evidence.
belief.
That's my
No, but there
point.
is.
Macroevolution doesn't have any
If there
scientific
wasn't
evidence.
an experimental evidence, it wouldn't be a generally accepted scientific belief.
Ben, I will tell you why. Because generally they have assumed that there is no God, there is no creator, there is no designer. Therefore, in order for that, let me finish it.
No,
Let
they
me
just
finish
haven't
it.
assumed that there is
No,
one.
let me finish that. So they have to come up with something in order to replace that designer.
Are you calling
by saying
evolution the God of the gaps fallacy?
basically for you, yes, for you it is. It is.
No.
It is. For
See,
atheists.
evolution isn't something
For
that we try.
atheists,
No,
it
wait.
is.
Wait, sorry. Evolution isn't something we've placed into history. Evolution is something we've gotten out of history. We've looked at history, saw how things shift and evolve, and then we've called it evolution.
Again, that's the statement from faith,
That's how it
not
works.
history. No,
We
don't
looked at
have
what's
any
happening,
history.
and then we called it evolution.
That's what
We
you
didn't-
believe.
We didn't say evolution exists and then try to fit it in. We looked at what's happening and called it evolution.
No, you wanted to explain things how we are here. For example, humans are here. Why anything exists now? Starting from that is why you had to come up with theories that deny the involvement of a designer.